So, Dan, you've been pronounced twice world's best dating coach. You've coached over 22,000 men and counting over the past 20 years. And all of that was born out of your incredible childhood story that now makes you who you are. And if you don't mind, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you became known as the world's best dating coach?
Okay, yeah, thanks for such a nice intro. Yes, I would say I never planned to be a dating coach. My vision was IT, and I was supposed, actually I went to the school for IT and computer science, so I'm geek inside. But then, the whole dating somehow just overtook my life. And when you struggle with something, and especially me, like engineer mindset, when you encounter problems, I go hardcore on it, and I simply have to solve it, and that's pretty much what happened. All my knowledge, dating, and basically everything what I'm sharing today with the world and with the guys, I personally went through it, and I personally gathered all of it on basically streets, bars, clubs, and so basically I went to the brute force. Basically what happened is I started as a shy, introverted guy, okay? I was never, great with girls. That I was never able to go out, and I basically when talking about my, teen, high school and, university days, I was never able to go out there and, club and, bring girls back home or have amazing relationships and interactions. I had to learn that. But the big turning point in my life was on age 14. I had an accident during the war in, here in Croatia, when Yugoslavia was falling apart. Bad timing. I was at the wrong place, wrong time. Basically Christmas night, I was watching fireworks with my friends on a terrace for exactly on midnight. We step out watching the fireworks, and idiots were shooting with machine guns in the air, celebrating because it was a war. They had like weapons at home, and the bullet went up, and microphone. Bullet went up and basically hit me like in the head, like basically parabola shot. What goes out needs to come down as well, and law of gravity on the planet Earth, and so unconscious, hospital, surgery, brain surgery. They saw the bullet in the brain. They couldn't take it out. I was in coma for 2 weeks. They finally managed to take the brain out. I lost left side of my body. I had to kind of do lots of, rehab, learn how to talk again. So pretty much I lost, I think, 2 years in the school. I managed to come back in a wheelchair to the school, and that's where my fight for the life started. My friends started going out to the bars, clubs, kind of being 14, 15, 16, first girls, first adventures with girls, while I was at home in a wheelchairs. Cooking this desire, like, fuck, I want that, kind of, because, I was better than these guys, and I was like, fuck, they're having girls, I'm at home playing, Nintendo, or whatever, PlayStation, what was back in the days, So, I don't want to say depression. I was never depressed. I was like frustrated with situation, And then I saw it in a school with that little interaction that I had, like, with kids, I was like, basically my social skills were going down, I couldn't keep up because I was mostly spending time with my parents and with old people. So my jokes and the whole conversational style was for, older people, not for the kids, So I saw I had to do something about it. So I started my journey, my war, my battle. I wrote myself plan, okay, I'm gonna have beautiful girls, I'm gonna have girls, I'm gonna have the
And what
hottest
age
girls.
was that?
16, 17, 18. Okay, so shy, introverted into today. So that's basically how I started my journey. So I started pretty much my clients today, they're starting as, I would say, at zero. They're a little bit kind of uncomfortable with the girls. They're maybe shy, not confident with the girls. I started from wheelchairs.
Yeah, way behind.
Yeah, I was like, if you're starting from zero, I started from -100.
So anybody listening to this know now that they have no fucking excuse anywhere.
No, so this transformation. So I was my own first success story. I was my own first client. So I was being a coach and a client at the same time. I was like, okay, let me get myself out from this shit. Because I saw it like, how it's gonna be. If I stay like this, I saw my life, where it's gonna be in 10, 20, 30, 50 years, And I said, I'm not gonna live that life. I'm not gonna live that life, I'll create something else.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's how my journey started. I started going out to the bars, clubs alone. Like, I was like, okay, I will go out since I didn't have much of the friends. They were having their life. I was like, okay, I'll go out alone.
So how did this then transition happen from you being your own coach, you actually figuring things out, learning, and then, having first clients? How did that transition happen?
It's always like that. It always comes from success. When you start going to the clubs and start taking these women home, they're like, what the fuck?
How does he do it?
What the fuck? This guy knows something we don't know. And then, hey, I saw you. Can you help my friends? I know this guy. He needs help. Maybe can you? So I started writing about it back in the days on the forums, on Usenet forums, like 2000 and I don't know, or 1998, 9, whatever.
Yeah, there was no chat.
Yeah, there was
Facebook.
There was nothing like So I started writing on the forums, sharing, and then some guys, can I come to Croatia to see that? And then word spread around very fast. And next thing you know, I had a website. I was flying around and helping guys around the world, and you just so accidental dating coach. You just took me. This is gonna be your job now.
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
So what has kept you passionate for over 20 years now doing this?
I would say first years was my own victory of my own success. Having finally all it's your dreams coming true. Like now you can have all those girls. So just that victory that you can go to a club, bar, or street, and and then 2 hours later bring that girl back home or invite into your life. So I would say first years was motivation. Fuck, I can do this. And then when I got fed up or tired of it, you have your own girls, after X amount of girls, you're like, okay, been there, done that. Then it's the client success. Seeing all that transformations that I have done for myself, I'm like, okay, can I now, do it for this guy? Then, take introverted, shy guy and create playboy out from him, a guy who can have abundance of women and, be completely free and attractive to women. That, and then these guys, they start inviting you to their weddings, they start naming their kids after you. And so all that, you realize just an additional boost of oil on the fire that I have. And I think it's kind of my mission in life to help men around the world. And I really went through the pain to discover, and I keep discovering new things. After 20 years, I'm still on the field. I still do my set of approaches, which lots of dating coaches, they don't do.
To stay sharp, right?
To stay sharp. It's like, tennis. If you're a tennis coach, you still do a game. You still need to, your forehand and backhand still need to be sharp. You cannot be like, oh yeah, like when I was playing 20 years ago. No, you go out there, you still test, you still, update your skills, to the new generations. They think differently nowadays than, 20 years ago.
So what would you say, how did the dating landscape change over the past 20 years? And especially, you've coached over 22,000 men. So looking through their eyes over the years, how did everything change?
I would say back in the days was very conservative, and there was no one night stands, or like a girl to go home and spend a night with you, that she just met you on the first day was like, shh, don't tell this to anyone, So they were really like, they didn't, it was breaking lots of their social norms. Now this became normal, they're having sex in the toilets of the club, the VIP tables behind the club, on the parking in front of the club. So, they're meeting, it's completely normal now. You meet a girl in the middle of the day and, you spend whole day or night with her. This was really out of options back in the days, like it was, even though that was kind of what we wanted to do, but it was like, there was social barriers and norms where you were breaking lots of things to achieve something.
Yeah, men are men. Men always want the same thing. It doesn't matter what age we're living in. But it
I would
did change
say
for women.
Back in the days, there were not that many options. You could, be in a relationship or get married. There were no now. No strings attached, situationship, fuck buddy, open relationship, this, that. These are all taboos, and I don't do that, So that was one thing, and it was easier and harder at the same time. Okay, because today, thanks to Hollywood, thanks to social media, there is a standard what is attractive men. So basically, the whole society create a norms what is attractive men. Back in the days, you approach 10 girls. Each one had her own vision of what kind of guy she wanted.
Yeah, based on her parents' upbringing.
Exactly, the books she read, So one was into musicians, other one was like, the doctors, so like it was all over the place. So if you wanted to get her, you kind of really need to shape close to that and, be and project ideas or basically part of personality that she was into it. Today, pretty much all women are searching for that one type of a guy. That's dominant, confident, adventurous, successful, educated, loves to travel, blah, blah, blah. Okay, like, basically the list is pretty much the same wherever you go in the world. So you just need to be that guy.
Yeah, which most men are not.
Which most men are not. Correct.
So that brings me to the modern times and, social media and everything. So we concluded that Instagram is now playing a huge role in dating. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yes, but it started with dating apps, which they fall apart. I think what happened with offline and online shopping, they tried to copy paste into the dating as well. Ordering people, from internet home. So dating apps fall apart, and especially Tinder, and so Instagram took that position. I don't think it was their strategy, but it somehow became the central piece on social media for the date. Basically, what LinkedIn is for business, your resume, your CV, who are you in the business world? People come there and check, do they want to work with you or not? Who do you know, what do you bring, companies you run and everything else, your whole background. That's what Instagram is for dating. She can see who are you, who are your friends, how do you live.
Yeah, they're window shopping basically on Instagram.
Yes, exactly. It's because when woman is choosing to be with you, it's not just you, it's the whole lifestyle that you bring on a table. Perfume you wear, clothes you dress, where you eat, car that you drive, house that you live, holidays that you go. Like pretty much she is deciding to be part of all of that. She's buying all of that. So on Instagram, she can see it. Before she sleeps with you, she can be, this is what I'm getting into. Yes or no? Do I want this next 6 months, 1 year, 6 years?
Or forever.
Or forever. Or I don't want this. So, if you're smart, Instagram can be your best tool ever. So, for me, Instagram is the best thing that has happened in the last 20, 30 years in dating world.
Let's unpack that a little bit more. So, how how and why? So, I'm a average dude that wants to attract online. And what should I do? What kind of photos should I put? Should I hire a professional photographer?
You need to be smart, okay? You need to be smart about it. But first, let me elaborate why is this, okay? So, back in the days, 20 years ago, okay, I would talk with a girl on a street or in a bar, in a club. Basically, pretty much everything what she could learn about me was what happened there in that interaction. When that interaction stopped, it was end of learning. It's a little bit, text messages were very simple SMS, if you remember, like from all phones, Nokia and everything.
Yeah.
So it was very hard to communicate and it was expensive. So pretty much only the next possible situation where she could learn more or me about her was next date. So you had to, and that's basically what seduction is actually. Seduction is just like IT. Basically I have an IT background and pretty much seduction is an IT. It's controlled exchange of information. If she knows the right things about me, she'll be attracted to me. I can seduce her. If she doesn't know the right things, or she doesn't know enough things, nothing is going to happen. So, 20 years ago, basically the information exchange could only happen in the person. Versus today, even after I end that conversation with her, and we connect on Instagram, for example, she's still learning about me.
Yeah, she keeps collecting information.
She keeps collecting information. And now, if that information is presented in the right way, aligned with what she wants in a man. So my image is correct what I'm portraying out there in a digital space. And if it is aligned with her wish list, it means attraction will be triggered. It means that now this is called passive attraction. So now you have something that works for you even when you sleep. You can sleep and girls are still scrolling, they're still getting attracted to you. You're still seducing them.
So basically you're controlling information, and let's say you want a spiritual girlfriend, then you can build your profile in a way to attract.
Correct.
Exactly that, right?
Correct. So that's why you cannot upload random stupid photos. Every photo that goes there needs to be, that's kind of what I do. One photo is a million of words, really thousands of words. It's storytelling. Each photo, go to my profile, go to any profile of the guys that I built. And that's kind of what I do, I don't want to say, I start playing with photography a little bit because I had a model agency back in the days. That was one of my crazy stories as well, because at one point I was like, why the fuck I have to always, if I want a girl, I need to go out there and hustle, bring that girl, I'm like, now when I have money, can I create a funnel where they come to me? So I was with a friend of coffee, I'm like, what, let's fucking open the model agency, Because basically the idea was, I wanted, because every hot girl in a town, at one point, beautiful girl, at one point she will try to monetize her beauty. When she's 19, 20, doesn't matter. At one point, she will come to the point in her life where she will try to monetize her beauty. And I was like, at that point, I want her to contact me. When she thinks about monetizing her beauty, somehow, she wants to work as a hired gun, as a hostess, as a model, I want her to come to me. It's basically a talent agency more than model agency. So we had this business, and then basically I had a photographer, so I learned photography as well. During that time, I'm always learning new things, whatever I do. And then a couple of years ago, I was when the whole dating started moving online specter, I started doing photography for the guys I never thought I'll be shooting guys all over the world, but yes, so what I realized basically what I do on now for Instagram and what I kind of discovered is you need to portray yourself through her wishes, through her basic ideal man. Kind of, okay, you know what kind of girl you want to get, you would like to get, your target audience. Now build a landing page, speaking of marketing terms, for that girl. So it communicates everything what she wants in a man.
And should guys take these matters in their own hands, use their phone and create a bunch of photos, or should they hire somebody, or should they? What's your advantage in doing this versus me going out somewhere and hiring a professional photographer? Because there's plenty of them out there.
I noticed, I tried hiring for some of my clients, some really especially in the States, top photographers, and I was disappointed. Amazing photographers. They will create a beautiful picture. It doesn't convert.
Why?
I don't think they understand dating space. Female mindset. Because here, you're really selling a product, you're selling the guy, you're not just kind of creating a beautiful photo. It's in little things, the muscle, the watch visible, kind of little things that, communicates status, value, and personality. So it really needs to be smart. It's not just, typical photographers, especially, weddings, they will just do beautiful photos. And this is not about creating beautiful photos. This is, it is partially, but it's more about information. She's looking through it like she wants to collect as much information as possible.
So it's about selecting the right photos. How do you out of 200-300 photos that you take in a photo shoot, how do you select the right ones that will convert?
I don't select. I have my girls select for me. And that's something I learned in the process. Basically, I take a photo of you. And what we will like, the photos we will choose from 300 photos that we do take on a photo shoot. How I like my photos. And then you give it to the women, they will choose completely different photos. And that blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, we take, and I have done this so many times. I will take 300 photos of a guy. And I give the camera, choose the photos that you like. And he will choose top 10 photos, 20. I will take the camera and I choose 20 photos. And then I give the photos to my two girls. I have a WhatsApp group with 5-10 girls, super hot girls. And I'm like, okay, give me the photos that makes you wet from this guy. They're like, I like him. And these photos are completely different photos than what we men chose.
Yeah, because we can't select the way they can. Yeah. Makes sense.
So that's why I stopped doing it. I stopped doing picking the photos, and I use female mind because its end product is for them.
Yeah.
They see us in a different way.
Makes sense.
So yeah, and I see that's again problem with hiring photographers and you choosing photo or him choosing photos. It's like, yes, you choose the beautiful photo of you. It doesn't convert on dating app, on Instagram.
So can you describe, your process then? Say somebody calls you up from New York or LA or Chicago, doesn't matter, Canada, and they say, I want you to build me a profile and I live pretty far from you. So how does that whole process look for you?
So first we will decide on location where you're going to shoot. Either I'll fly to him or he's going to fly to me or we're going to meet somewhere. Depends, what kind of profile we are building, more summerish, winter. But I would say there are two basic parameters. First thing, I want to know type of a girl he wants to attract. Okay, so that's the starting point. Who are we building profile for? Who we need to attract? So it's a tailor-made to attract exactly your type of woman. And then it's who are you as a man? Because your profile should convey and resonate and talk your values, your beliefs, your personality. she needs to learn about you, hobbies you have and everything else. So like, it's not only sales page for her, it's as well presentation of your, who you are as a man. How do you want to present yourself? How do you want to present yourself in a digital space, especially for dating? And now, this brings me to one thing that I keep telling to the guys. I was like, it's a different mind shift. Your Instagram has nothing to do with you. Your Instagram is all about her. She is looking through Instagram and she's trying to fit herself into that. Do I want to live this life? So basically, you need to be smart to, if you're doing it for yourself, to create, which is super complex, by the way. You can try, but I prefer really just like building a website or anything else. Everybody can build a website today, but give it to the professional, especially if you want the results and you want the results fast, then give it to the guys that are doing this every day. I'm shooting guys pretty much like every weekend. But why? Because I combined this dating experience of being a dating coach for 20 years with photography. I'm not the greatest photographer ever, definitely I'm not. I'm average, or a little bit above average, but I'm seeing it through female eyes. I'm storytelling on the profile about the guy and inviting her into that life in a very subtle manner, subtle details in a profile, where she's seeing, beautiful table, 2 glasses of the wine, dinner setting on a beach, but then there's a chair is empty.
Yeah, it's psychology.
So small things where she can see, he's available. Amazing lifestyle. I want to live this life. He's free. I want to be on the chair.
So basically the profile shouldn't look like you're trying real hard.
No.
It should look like it's spontaneous. Somebody else, one of your friends, for example, took a photo of you and it's looking amazing and you posted it.
Yeah, the worst, basically that's kind of very early Instagram, like posing for, looking at the camera, bird, flash, kind of. So that's kind of what lots of guys do, never look at the camera. The best photos what work today on Instagram are paparazzi shots, which means you're doing something and somebody taking the photo of it. Like for example, instead of now us looking at the camera, somebody takes the photo of us doing a podcast.
Yeah, or in a more relatable sense, you're cooking some amazing food and then somebody snaps a photo of you that looks just crazy good.
Yeah. So that works the best, not like, hey, look at me like this is my car, but more like you stepping out from your car and somebody snaps a photo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that style works today. We'll see what's going to work in the future. But yes, it's possible to build a profile for yourself. You can try. Some guys have amazing, photography skills. Even, you have amazing cameras. You don't need expensive camera. You can do it with your phone. It's possible. Of course, it's going to look better with professional camera and good lens. But pretty much all it takes is a little bit of the brain and intelligence and knowing how to present yourself, how to sell yourself to the girls. And pretty much that will, if you're good with women in everyday settings, you know how to sell yourself. You know which parts of you are good, like humor, sense, how are you already getting girls? Outsource that to the Instagram. Build more of that on Instagram.
So let me ask you, so if you build a profile and you say, a guy deletes all their old photos and they get 20, 30 new photos, whatever, they upload them, the profile is now looking great. What happens now in the future? Does this profile, what do you recommend? Do they need to keep posting? How do they make sure that they post quality photos going forward?
Okay, you can do multiple stuff. For lots of guys, it's enough to do this, and then you're fine for next 2, 3, 5 years. Let's say you build basic profile. You don't need to be victim of social media and use social media and upload nonstop something, reels and things. It's enough to have it as a good CV, and then update maybe couple of photos per year. Really only best top photos per year. Make sure they're really good, so minimum, but pretty much the profile that I'll build is gonna work for you for next couple of years.
Okay, so that's good. As long as then they don't need to be
Yeah.
constantly
Only
uploading.
thing maybe what you need is maybe 1 or 2 stories per day, or 1 or 2 couple of stories per week to stay active, where girls still out there thinking about you, they're opening up very easy, they keep learning. And that's something. See, this is now going back how the whole seduction changed and dating. This wasn't possible 20 years ago. Where you meet a girl, I wish I had this back in the days. Today you can meet a girl and she has a boyfriend. And no problem, let's connect on Instagram. She'll be single in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year from now. But just stay present in her life.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So every girl that you meet today, there's a big chance she'll be single very soon, even though she's in a relationship today. Before we lost those girls, you had text message. Then I remember I was doing really a cold calling, kind of SMS. I'll send a broadcast text messages hey, how's it going? I was some crazy dreams, and I'll just send to all my contacts, my basic old list from 6 months ago, and then see which girls maybe is back to single land. So it was very, very interesting times where we did lots of things manually. So that's why I'm telling you, Instagram is the best and the worst thing that happened in a dating space. It's best if you know how to use it. It's amazing tool.
Okay, well, hopefully now after this little talk, guys will have a new idea on what's possible out there. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about male, female energy roles and everything that kind of falls in that category. So what is male energy and what is female energy, and what are their characteristics?
I would say core of the male energy is testosterone, and core of the female is estrogen. And that's what you bring on a table in the dating space. You being a man and her being a woman. And I noticed this basically when I, partially what got me on the list of top dating coaches in the world, when I started introducing and changing concepts and introducing new stuff. I discovered and I changed basically the seduction community a couple of times. And one of the biggest changes that I have done was when I came, and basically first years it was all indirect. You approach American style of approach. You will approach a woman and you are very, being reserved, almost under the radar. I don't want you. I'm, kind of I'm just here. Let me ask you something.
More passive.
Very passive. Very not showing any interest. Okay, so super indirect, and this never resonated with me, especially in this part of the world, in Europe, where a man is taught to be direct, to be honest, to be upfront, and more proactive. So my natural style of what I felt good was just coming to the girl, say, I like you. Who are you? What's your name? Basically, I like you. I like what I see. I want you as my girlfriend.
That's what you're projecting, basically.
Exactly. You're not saying this.
Yeah.
Words are very simple. What you're basically sub-communication is, I am choosing you. Who are you? What's your name?
So, did you try the quote-unquote American style?
Of course. For years.
How did that?
First 2 years, I was all, and I had some success with it, but I never felt good in my skin doing it. I never felt like, wow, this is me, like, just because you have this super sexy woman in front of you, and you have this rush of sexual energy, of man energy, and you need now to suppress this and hide it and not act on it.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be too much. As they look at it probably as, hey, it's too much.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course. While me flying to the States, spending lots of time, women respond to it amazingly well. They love it.
You mean the indirect approach?
No,
in the
direct,
States?
direct.
Ah, okay.
Even though they're saying, no, it's not good, it's too much. Logically, it's too much, but they respond to it very well.
It's probably also refreshing because they don't have very much direct approaches.
Yes, correct. Because it's a new. Exactly. It's very, it's unknown, it's exotic, it's like, fuck, finally a man.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So one thing I noticed right now, before you move on to the whole energy change, that's something I noticed, like, the solid functional relationship is when you set the roles, when you put a woman and the man in the natural roles that they should play in a relationship. Society is playing us and trying to brainwash us. This is, we can do everything, and you can be washing dishes and doing this. Women can work in a field, but there are because of the way we are built and our basically genes and the whole background of thousands, millions of years, we feel good in our natural roles. Men doing men stuff, women doing women stuff. And when you bring a relationship to that, when you give a woman a platform where she can nourish and enjoy her feminine energy, and she doesn't need to be in a masculine energy, she will feel good and you'll have an amazing woman. Same thing on the other side. If you give a man a space, a platform where he can be a man, and you encourage him to do that, you give him the space and strength to be the man and, task, oh, can you please fix me this, can you do this, So she's not fighting, she's actually supporting you being a man. Then you have these two people in a really good positions to live together and to give each other what they need. And this all starts there on the approach when you meet a woman. And that's what I noticed, like especially with this now talking about indirect. When you approach a woman in, hey, let me ask you something, very in a feminine energy, what happens? She becomes, they say bitchy, she becomes like, more dominant. She responds from masculine energy. So you started now relationship in the wrong terms, in a wrong frame. It's a first minute of interaction. You will maybe spend years with this woman. And you already put her in a wrong space. She's in a dominant role.
Yeah, with your approach, you naturally kind of push her in the direction where it's not ideal.
If you do that, yeah. And that's why all this direct approach that I put on a table, basically give it to the world, is more dominant. I'm the man, you're the woman, I'm choosing you.
What do you think happens in today's world when you talk like this and you tell them these things? How do people perceive this? I mean, we know that there's...
Okay, the words and the message are the words that you say and the message are completely different. I mean, not two different things, but they're way more subtle. I see where you're going, like, with this. But for example, the words on top of this message is gonna be, hey, I don't know why, but I really like you. What's your name? Or, you know what? You're exactly my type of a girl that I'm searching for. What's your name? I wanna get to know you. So, yes, the words cannot be that aggressive. But subliminal message, basically the underlying message, is what is the core of it. You're not getting them with the words, you're getting them with the whole, that message, which is like, I'm the man, you are the woman. I appreciate what I see, and that got me here, from all those women here. I choose you.
So what happens?
And I want to
when-
get to know you.
What happens when people start to deviate from their energies, male from male and women from male, and they start to mix?
Then you have this amazing society what we have today with queer people, with non-binary, fluid sexualities, metrosexuality, and everything, all this sapiosexuality and everything what we have today, like how many genders and gender roles that we have today.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
Pretty much every civilization that played with gender roles very soon ended. And I think that's going to happen with our civilization as well, because it's the last moral standpoint what you can defend. If that is fluid, if that is not solid, that I'm now looking you as a man and you're telling me, no, I'm a woman, and I don't trust my eyes anymore, and I don't know what else can we rely on. If they manage to break this last moral norm,
yeah.
then nothing else is solid.
So can a couple even notice that this is happening to them? Say that you're in a relationship and you have a good foundation, but then all of a sudden, for example, I hear a story from a friend who was well off into trading, this, that, then lost his job. All of a sudden, switched the roles completely now. The wife is starting to work and provide. He's the one staying at home. And there doesn't seem to be any fixing or any plan to fix the situation. But like, oh, okay, now the roles switched and I'm just what I am. How can a couple even get out of that?
Okay, it's possible. It's possible, but you need one architect. You need one in a relationship who is smarter, who is gonna on top of the things, the one who is fixing the car. Okay, it's a vehicle that you both drive. One needs to be on top of it. Okay, how are we gonna now work this out?
Well, that kind of plays into, first of all, you need to become conscious of it, that it's even happening.
Exactly. Awareness, conscious, and proactive. You don't just sit there and and bitch around and be a victim of it. But actually, this is what is happening. We are going in this direction. Use your brain projection, like what I did when I was in wheelchairs. I projected my life, and I saw, if I don't do anything, this is the life I'm gonna live. If I do something about it, life is going to go somewhere else. So yes, but you really need to be on top of things. You need to have a reality checks. I do even in my perfect relationship, I have every 2 weeks reality checks with myself. I sit down, go for coffee, and elaborate. Where are we in a relationship? Am I doing my job good? Is she doing her job good? Is everything else in line? What can be fixed? It's because it's like when you're sailing. 1 degree today, you won't notice left or right. But 1 degree today and 1 degree tomorrow, you're going to end up in the wrong part of the world.
True. Yeah, that makes sense.
Over a month. So that degree over 1 month will take you to a different continent. But if you do reality checks and you check your map, navigation, and GPS every 2 days, where are we? And you're steering your ship to the right direction, then that's what needs to happen.
And I would say that's also a role of a man. I mean, you got to evaluate yourself, evaluate your life, and the same thing for a relationship and everything else.
You cannot be passive, aggressive, and victim. Oh, it's not the right woman. Maybe it is. Maybe she is. Maybe not doing the right job.
That's right. Let's talk a little bit about IQ, and let's dissect your thousands of men that have crossed your life. So, what can you tell us about the mental IQ, the emotional IQ, the social IQ of the guys that are struggling and that usually are your clients?
So I really love to teach and coach guys with a high IQ level. Why is that? They can understand. I have lots of concepts. I have lots of crazy knowledge, and implementation of that takes. You need to be smart. You need to use your brain in a really good way. So I think they can. I think the guys who are smart, because this seduction is a game. Seduction is played here, not in a body. It's basically who is the smarter wins the game. So IQ is important. IQ tends to work against you in the dating space, because dating, pretty much being good with women, is about emotional and social intelligence. You take any natural guy who is just good with girls. He's not the smartest guy on the planet Earth. He has good social and emotional skills. So good news is that you can learn social and emotional skills even when you're like 30, 40. These are just set of the rules and small behavioral things that you learn being with people. Eye contact and, compliments, pumping energy, controlling the energy, and making people feel good. These are just, basic set of the rules that you can learn. Even if, you come from mountains and you've never been around people, you can still learn it. But IQ is important. IQ is important because today really is, it's not survival of the fittest, it's basically survival of the smartest.
And being able to think on your feet, because once you're interacting, situations happen and you have to respond properly, and you have to read the energy, read the body language. There's multiple things happening at the same time, right?
Exactly. And Instagram, for example. To build good Instagram, you need lots of IQ. You need to be smart. If you just build average Instagram, for yourself, it's not going to work. You do it in a really nice, smart way, so it really communicates everything what she wants in a man, and it's still you. You're not faking it. It's going to work, for sure. Because they trust this. It's a platform that they trust. Because it's lifestyle platform, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
She can see your lifestyle. And what is a dating? She is designed to be part of that lifestyle. Okay, so I want to jump on traditional and modern approaches and talk about that a little bit. And there seems to be a comeback in traditional face-to-face approach on the streets, cafes, shops, nightclubs, etc. Why do you think that's happening today? Digital detox. Okay, so I'm seeing this with the car industry, like a new Bugatti that came out last week. No screens, no touch. Basically, how 10 years ago it was all about, they thought the cars would be just, screens everywhere, and, people got tired of the whole digital thing. And so I'm seeing it with the car industry, kind of less electronics, less, buttons and, touch screens. Same thing is happening here. People people, I would say nowadays, offline approach, in-person approach works way better than Instagram or dating apps or anything online. Why? Because first, it's something new. It's again, because you don't have this energy, you see a girl, you approach her, it's, for them, it's like, wow, man energy, testosterone, you're touching her, there's so many things happening there. You cannot replace that with online. And because what I'm noticing, and I never had this, back in the days, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you would approach super hot girl in a nightclub. And you are the one shaking. You're like, fuck. Today, she's the one shaking. She's the one shaking. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's something new for them. They actually haven't experienced it.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a stress response.
And you can see it in her eyes. It's hilarious. It's like she just can't wait for you to ask for her number or Instagram. Like you totally see it in conversation. She's giving you the whole, maybe, she's offering, which never happened before. Why? Because she knows that's her comfort zone. Now she's gonna go home and in comfort of her living room or bedroom, because now you're one of fucking hundreds there in her inbox, in her DM.
So if a guy sends 100 DMs or does 100 cold approaches, what works better?
I think definitely you're gonna learn way more with doing hundreds cold approaches. I would say if you do really good hundreds cold approaches, you will get 20, 25 girls, 30 today. Up to 50.
Yeah.
And send 100 DMs, maybe 1 or 2 dates.
Yeah, that's actually what makes sense, because her DM is filled with messages and people trying to get in touch with them and ask stupid things.
I think some combination between online and you cannot ignore online what technology is bringing to the table and this part of the life.
But it has its place.
It has its
in
place.
The process.
And if you don't have Instagram today, you're hiding something. You're suspicious. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Why is he hiding it? So you have to be present. And that's basically what I would say, my standpoint is approach a woman offline in a cafe, street, mall, and do as much as you can there in communication, in this exchange. So she learns as much about you as possible. And then connect on Instagram, and then let the Instagram does the rest. Fills the gaps. Oh, I didn't know he has dog. Oh my God, look, he likes sushi. I like sushi. Now, Instagram fills in
all the gaps.
Yeah. And does all the work for you. And what I noticed with this type of approach, you need less texting because she has all the information. She knows now who you are and what she's gonna get from you. And now there's no mental barrier, unknowns to go for a date with you.
So, how would you? What are the differences if we look at America and Europe in terms of dating, in terms of approaching? We already discussed direct approaches and indirect and passive approaches, which is more American style. But what other differences are there between the two?
I would say European is still more traditional in some sense. American market, the whole dating is very, very, I would say girls are spoiled with the money, with opportunities, especially hot girls, they're flying around in private jets, being invited left and right there, especially let's say Miami, LA, big cities. So you will see that in Europe, but not that much. maybe London. I think the rest of Europe is fine. And also the more you go to the Eastern Bloc, let's say Balkan area, and even more let's say, ex-Russian, Soviet, Ukraine, and you can truly get touch of, I think that's the point. Women are more feminine. I think American women have lost their compass with the whole feminism, woke culture, and everything else. So it's really, I think they lost touch with the female inside. There are more guys than girls. And in Europe you can still meet and date and have this feminine woman who is in touch with her femininity, who is in touch with her woman inside.
What would be your one simple recommendation for American dudes and their situation?
Move out. Passport bros. Yeah, lots of guys are doing that, or they are dating, importing girls from Europe and South America, Latin countries.
Basically, the way they can teach their women a lesson is, hey,
Yes.
I'm gonna go shop somewhere else, and you guys think about what you're doing.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
I think that will correct the market for sure.
So let's talk about marketing. You do use marketing quite a bit to compare and contrast. So what is marketing of oneself? What do you mean by that?
I mean, dating in a whole space is basically marketing. You as a man, you are the product. And you can be the greatest man on the planet Earth, but if you approach her and you're shaking and sweating and mumbling words, your marketing is not right. But maybe you're her ideal man. And I had many clients that are successful, established, rich. They are the ideal men that women are searching for. But their marketing sucks.
That's where you come into play.
Exactly. So that's where we build a whole funnel and marketing, Instagram and everything, to make sure that this guy, even though he's confident, he's running companies, he's successful, he can still approach her and communicate all of that and present himself in this space. Because if you are successful and everything, and of course, there's a beautiful woman in front of you, woman of your dreams, you will be a little bit shaking. But idea is to present that guy who is
the ideal.
Sorry?
The ideal.
Exactly, the ideal. So in a stressful situation, it's hard to present the ideal if you're not trained. If you're trained, if you know how to do it, then it's possible.
What would be one advice you would give anybody that's watching this, that's new, that's never met you before, to maximize their chances in dating life and to just become a little bit more successful than previous years?
I would say one advice would be women that you want or woman that you want to get. She's out there somewhere living her daily life, going to supermarket, job, university, she's studying, whatever she is, okay? You need to think about, be smart, back engineering. Where can you meet her? And how can you, get through your life? This part needs to be figured out, okay? Work on yourself. Yeah, if you are not attractive guy, physically attractive, you don't have to be physically attractive. You need to be. Women are searching for personality. Women are searching for, who are you as a man? The traits, the list. And if the list is right, physical component can be
A bonus, basically.
Exactly. She should forget about it. Or if he's not the sexiest guy on the planet Earth, but if he has everything else. So that internal, that's for, it's hard to understand for men because we men, we are visual buyers, If you don't like her, you're not gonna talk to her. Women are a little bit different. For them, inside is more important than what's outside. So, and this is where the key to the whole, basically what I'm teaching, what I'm doing, where the key of success is, it's inside. Develop that guy and be able to present it to the women.
And let me ask you this: do you have any upcoming projects or current projects that you're excited about that you would like to share with everybody?
I have lots of things that I'm doing in a year, and yes, let me see. We are doing now. Let me look through my calendar of the events. So on Tuesday, I'm flying to Brazil, one of my favorite places for holidays. Beautiful, exotic place with beautiful women and amazing food. Then one event, I do only one event per year, which is my summer camp, my training event that I really do, big training, where guys from all over the world come. Basically, we always choose different location in the world. It's basically mid-August, and this is one of my favorite and the best training spots where all my best coaches come, and we really do, we do everything to give these guys, a life-changing experience, to really transformation that I had, that I wish I had someone to take me to this transformation when I was, struggling with women. I had to do it, by myself. Over not 7-10 days, but over 7 years. So pretty much, what it took me 7 years, I can do today in a couple of 7 days for somebody else, So that thing, and we are doing lots of crazy stuff around. Pretty much, I think here in the community, you have our events list, with all events we're gonna be in the next. Depends when you're watching this, of course, where are we in the world, what we are doing, but we'll be doing lots of stuff in the world. And so I really hope you guys will join to one of our events live or come to the photo shooting, Let's Build Your Instagram, or, whatever it is, one-on-one coachings, and, boot camps. We are doing lots of events around the year. And so, yeah. Pretty much.
You also mentioned the community, and this is something new that you just started. So can you tell us a little bit more about the community?
Yeah, basically, I really liked 2000, basically what, 20, 30 years ago, when it was all about forums. Remember this, small communities on the forums that we had, back in the days, those BBC forums where guys exchanging the knowledge and stories, and that's kind of, I would say, one of my best years of my life. We had this kind of small community forum, top guys in the world, it's called Mysteries Lounge, top players in the world. Basically, we live for each other there, we're going out there, everybody will discover something, come back, write a report of the last night, guys commenting and everything. So I want to build something like that again. And so basically we have this kind of super amazing, community that we are building nowadays, where guys can come in and ask questions, share stories, tons of material, just basically what I had when I was going through my transformation, support of the guys, there for you, they're kind of helping you. But okay, now, especially because all my students, I want them there so they can all, we can still grow together and follow their progress in the years, because maybe now they're in a relationship, 6 months they're gonna be single again. So, and things are non-stop changing. So I know if you've been in a relationship, what happened with one of my clients, he got divorced after 7-8 years. It's a different world out there. He's single again, back to the dating.
Yeah, I gotta figure it out.
That's the point of the community. Come there, all new updated stuff is there waiting for you.
Amazing.
So yeah, guys, join the community. You get tons of value and resources and other guys on the same level. And I think this is going to be like a really amazing, success and a place that glues everything. But, where you have somebody to ask, you went on a date, something happened, who you going to ask?
Ask Dan.
Correct. That's why we're here.
Cool. All right. Well, I am out of questions. I've learned a lot. And I think we can close it up.
Perfect, guys. Pleasure. Thanks for hosting me here and in this beautiful place.
Thank you.
Hope we do it again soon.
Sounds good.